There's an obvious difference between the corporate world and the pure innovative world. Does this also mean that the two worlds are two completely different worlds? Are they not compatible with each other, or maybe even complementary to each other? An answer to this question can be found in arts, and to find it in arts we first need some explanatory words about the style of arts and the work that will represent this art. Now you can clearly see the paradox in this figure. It does not only resemble two faces set off in relief, but also a face. Although this picture shows an extreme example, it serves as a good starting point. In paintings we normally focus on the figure itself, usually in black or color. When an artist does the same, we talk about cursively drawable figures. The ground is merely an accidental byproduct of the drawing act. When the ground, however, can be seen as a figure on its own, independently of the actual figure, we talk about recursively drawable figures. The re here refers to the fact that both the figure and the ground are cursively drawable, similar to a twice cursively figure or painting. Thus the negative space, or what is left out, suddenly gets meaning as well and is part of the figure. The ground becomes a vital part of the drawing and adds a great deal of context as well. One of the masters in recursively drawable figures was M.C. Escher, a Dutch artist. This figure clearly shows what I mean by recursively drawable figures when compared to cursively drawable figures. Focus only on the black animals. Do you see the corporate view? Now look at the ground and recognize the animals in there. And even more. Human figures. And did you see the guitar on the right? We interpret such works quite differently depending on our view, which is not a strange coincidence. Much like when we watch television, we do not see a collection of dots on a screen. We perceive chunks of information, but it would be equally ridiculous to assume that we see a chunk with all information. Recall watching a movie for a second time and seeing new things. These chunks of information represent what we know in our working life. They are the visual triggers that let our brains fire the neurons associated with the things we know and perceive as truth. Thus a manager will only act by a corporate vision and strategy, whereas a true innovator will act by a sense of science for society. And although the above picture shows that there is clear distinction between day and night, day would be meaningless without night and vice versa. This figure shows a representation by me of corporations and innovators as a painting by Escher recursively drawable, or better, re-recursively drawable. Whereas the larger framework, the entire environment, is nothing without the smaller framework, the corporate market, is nothing without the figure ground, the corporate paradigm and managerial decision space, and the ground figure, the innovative paradigm or the innovator's motivational space. And although both act on their own ground, with their own roots, corporate vision and strategy, or societal vision and values, and their own offspring, managerial information chunks, or the innovator's movie for society, both by day and night we see a tree with its roots in the arts and its spirits drawn from M.C. Escher.